Ernestine, I'm not darling angel. I'm Ernestine Crumb. It says so on my diploma. So soon she has graduated. Can sense independence and freedom. I didn't mean it that way, Ernestine, but you did. Godfrey, look at you, Ernie. You're my little gal. You really don't know what's out there. Armina, why you gonna go? Lights slowly begin to fade on all but Ernestine. Ernestine to audience smiling. Poor Amina, she'll carry my memory in her leg now, a limp that will never quite heal. Armina limps across the room to Ernestine, to audience. The room in the basement, the morning, the prayers, the dinner table, the television upstairs, the sweets. Godfrey, you're old enough to make up your own mind. I fed you for years. I took up where your mother left off. If you ain't happy, you've gotten what I can give. Gertie, Godfrey, she'll be all right. Ermina, let's go outside and sit on the stoop. Watch all the white gals in the graduation dresses. Let's go to a movie. Forget about all this until tomorrow. Let's go down to Pony Island and pretend to ride the cyclone. Let's get some ice cream. Lights continue to fade on all but Ernestine, who is swathed in the blue, flickering glow of the movies. She feels like a superstar now. Gertie sings a few lines from Falling in Love Again. Godfrey sings song. I got something in my pocket for my baby, Ernestine to audience. In the movies, the darkness precedes everything, and in the darkness, the theater whispers with anticipation. She stands lost and confused on a noisy, crowded street corner in Harlem. Finally, Harlem, lost to invisible crowd. Does anybody know how I get to Lenox Avenue? Lenox Avenue, the party headquarters. You know Lily Ann Green. Lily Ann Green. Lily holds out a sheet of paper. Nothing's there but an empty bar. Chester's. Blue flashing neon. Southernize. I order a slow gin, fizz, and chat with the bartender about the weather. It looks like rain. It's only men. They make me nervous. But they remember Lily. Everyone does. So I tell them I've come to enlist in the revolution, of course, to fight the good fight. I got a high school diploma. I'll do anything. I'll scrub floors if need be. You see, I care very much about the status of the Negro in this country. We can't just sit idly by, right? Lily said we used to live communally in Africa and solve our differences through music by creating riffs of a simple timeline building out towards something extraordinary like bebop. The bartender tells me he knows just the place I'm looking for. Address 137th Street between Convent and Amsterdam. And here I find myself standing before this great Gothic city rising out of Harlem. Black, grey, stone wash. At the corner store, they tell me it's City College. Okay, so when Ernestine got into trouble for writing a school essay, that made her teacher think she was a communist. Lily defended her by suggesting that she was simply thinking critically about the world. Interestingly, she now wants to become involved in the Communist Party. She ends up making her way to college, where she will, where she will certainly continue to think critically about the world around her. She doesn't end up joining the Communist Party then, but instead pursues the ideas that drive the Communist Party's belief in justice and equality, a pursuit that Lily, whenever she is and would certainly approve. The themes would be racism and opportunity and the critical thinking and open-mindedness. A moment in the movies. Well, years from now, I'll ride the subway back to Brooklyn. I'll visit Daddy and Gertie, and we'll eat a huge meal of bratwurst. Bratwurst is a sausage and sweet potatoes, and realize that we all escape somewhere and take comfort sometimes in things we don't understand. And before I graduate, Armina will give birth to her first child, lovely Sandra. She'll move home with Nana for a few years, and she'll be the one to identify Lily's whole body poked full of holes. Why full of holes? Due to the drug use, drug use of the injections. So due to intravenous drug use, her misery finally borne out. Years from now, I'll read the Communist Manifesto, the souls of black folk and black skin. These are all important literatures which are connecting with Lily's ideology. White masks. and find my dear Lily amongst the pages. Still, years from now, I'll remember my mother and the sweet smelling, humid afternoons by the Florida waters. And then, years from now, I'll ride the Freedom bus back down home, enraged and vigilant. Years from now, I'll marry a civil servant and argue about the Vietnam War, integration, and the Black Panther movement. Years from now, I'll send off one son to college in New England and I'll lose the other to drugs and sing loudly in the church choir. Lifts her suitcase, beaming. But today I'm just riffing. I'm just talking and walking as far as these feet will take me. Walking, riffing, riffing, riffing. Lights slowly fade as Ernestine continues to repeat the line over and over again. A traditional version of some enchanted evening plays, then gives way to a bebop version of the song Blackout. So the implication here is that Lily dies from the complications related to intravenous drug use. Her strong her story is a tragic one, as her independent, free thinking attitude ultimately left her alone in life. But the play doesn't suggest that such a mindset is what leads to tragedy. To the contrary, the play ends on a somewhat hopeful role, implying that Ernestine has been empowered to lead a life that was perhaps inaccessible to her aunt, who belonged to a generation and time period that was ruthless in discrimination and alienation of free thinking black women. Ernestine, on the other hand, has the chance to advocate for herself and for other black people by participating in the civil rights movement of the 1950s and 60s. Although Lily's life ended sadly, her legacy lives on in Ernestine's strength as a black woman fighting for justice and equality. And obviously, themes would be critical thinking, grief, loss, and moving on, and racism and opportunity. With this, we end this drama. If there are questions, please feel free to ask. Jazakallah.